I'm not alone. Even though we all die, the one thing I fear is time. The seconds to seconds, the seconds to seconds, the seconds to seconds. I wanna go outside.
That was the great sounds of Watson with Outside on Behind the Brand with myself, Prestige, and EZ Blues on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. And we got a great guest today on the show, Mr. Mickey. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, brother. I'm doing excellent. And I hear you are a great multitasker, and Easy tells me you do a whole bunch of amazing things, but you have your clothing brand. Easy, please tell us that clothing brand we're going to talk about today.
First of all, I would like to say that it is absolutely incredible. And the first time I met this man was actually at a pop-up in Westville.
Yep.
And he had all of this incredible classic stoner life brand.
Right.
And just having a conversation with him and getting to understand who he was and just how he handmade the stuff with vinyl, actually, which was amazing. So it's classic stoner life, and it's definitely, I have 2 of his shirts in the NWO logo. Absolutely amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, dude, this man is incredible. And not only that, I also have his ink on me, like my hand right here. Phenomenal tattoo artist as well. So, yeah. So get Mickey
What
Stoner,
came
man.
first,
How you been?
Mickey? Tattooing or clothing? What came first?
So clothing came first. As far as me doing it in a professional sense, clothing came first. My mom taught me how to sew. Me and my brother and sisters how to sew when we were kids. All of us. She taught all of us while we were kids. And with her being a grandmother now, my daughter last year for her birthday, she sewed her own birthday dress. Like it's a family thing. It's a family thing. My daughter, she's the next designer in the family.
Oh wow! All right, so it's being passed down.
Oh yeah, and then, I mean, I've always done art when I was younger. I took a little break from it once I started, working, getting in the world of work. But yeah, now once I got the opportunity to get in the world of tattooing, I just never looked back.
So you always had that entrepreneur spirit in you.
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, my mom used to take me to Sam's Club and Costco and stuff, and I used to make her buy me the boxes of like M&Ms, and it would be M&Ms, Three Musketeers, the peanut M&Ms, and Snickers, and I would sell them for $1 at school.
Perfect. I used to do the same thing.
It's a hustle. Every kid loves candy.
Exactly.
You can't go wrong with that, though. I know you said,
literally.
I know you said professional wise that the clothing came first, but you were always into art. Now, what made you want to jump that step into being a tattoo artist? Please tell me.
All right, so you know how they say when you have a kid, all your dreams just die, and you gotta just make other plans.
Right.
So found out that I was having a daughter, and around the same time, I ended up hitting like rock bottom all at the same time. A lot of crazy stuff ended up happening to me around the time that my daughter was born and a little bit after. And I looked at things like, okay, it can't get any worse. I might as well just go balls to the wall and just throw all my eggs in not only my brand basket, but also in this tattoo basket. I got to see what's going to happen because it can't get any worse. The only thing that can happen is it can go up. And so I just haven't looked back. And trust me, there's definitely been a lot of hurdles, a lot of setbacks throughout the journey, but it's life.
It definitely is life, man. You gotta look about those setbacks, and I think the best part about it is you bet it all on yourself, and not too many people want to bet on themselves when it comes to that. Now, Classic Stoner Life. Now, how long has this brand been about?
Okay, so Classic Stoner Life has been about now since 2014.
Awesome.
The idea and everything came about, I want to say in 2011, but I actually started production with my first handful of shirts in 2014.
About 6 years.
Now, actually, I kind of want to get into that because you're also kind of ahead of the curve. Now that you're seeing a lot more legalization throughout the country, have you noticed that actually has benefited your brand?
In certain ways, but it will a lot more once these two big things that I got going on, once they actually come to fruition, that's when I'll really start seeing that, because what I want to do is I want to transition from just a clothing brand to an actual marijuana brand. Actually having my own strain of marijuana with marijuana products in dispensaries, and I want my own strand of CBD, so that way I can have products in gas stations, corner stores. I'm trying to really corner the market.
So we're expanding.
Oh yeah. 20. Honestly, it's so funny because everybody says that 2020 sucks, but for me, 2020 has been the best year ever. Honestly, it's been the best year ever. I haven't traveled as much as I've never traveled this much. I haven't made this much money doing either, and it is crazy. I have grown as a brand and as a person with my career in tattooing tremendously just in 2020 alone.
How quick? Go ahead, Easy. I'm sorry.
I find this is actually, if there's one lesson from 2020 I really want our listeners to take, everyone that we have spoken to who have started to really invest in themselves and establish their own brands and start living their own dreams instead of working for someone else's dream in the year 2020 has been thriving. Khalil from Daddy Butter, you had, Ro last week, everyone is starting to build because they're investing in themselves. The shutdown has really shut down corporate.
Oh, and yeah, it made it an even playing field. It made it a total even playing field.
So I want to encourage people, take this and run with it. This is our opportunity to grow, to build as people, and to build as, look, we are brands. That's what we are. So live it, embrace it.
It's funny because in a way I kind of take a Gary V approach to things. I relate everything to death. And when I say that, no matter what type of a relationship you have with a person, once they die, you have to keep picking up the pieces and you have to keep going. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. So I look at everything else in the same exact sense. At the end of the day, what really matters? Is it A, B, and C, or is it what I actually need to do?
Perfect.
Actual.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
on that one. Now, are you go ahead, Easy.
No, you were froze.
I was froze.
Yeah, you were frozen. Yeah.
Oh, Lord, help me.
Oh yeah, no. I was about to start singing Elsa to you, man. I was like, P, let it go, P, let it go.
It's funny because we've been going online this entire year. Is the first time I've been frozen. It's crazy. But from what I want to know, Mickey, have you been the only employee in this 6-year ride for Classic Stoner Live? How do you have a team? How long did it take to build that team? Because it's always depending on your business.
Okay, so far, yes and no.
Okay.
I've had my little entrepreneur that I've been kind of mentoring here and there.
Awesome.
Over the years that I've had help me with certain things over the years. I've had a terrible partnership with a certain person, but now I have a great partner. I've grown a lot, and I'm at the point now where I just recently got an assistant. I'm actually my very first personal assistant. So this is definitely going to be a nice learning experience. But with my brand so far isn't crazy big yet. So I haven't gotten to the point to where I needed to grow yet to get a staff. But that's definitely coming next year.
Oh, absolutely. And absolutely. I love the fact that you said mentoring, because a lot of people who want to start out on their own don't really want to mentor people. under them, especially when they're starting out. And the best part about it is you guys can learn together. You guys can grow together as well too. Especially is great for you guys mentally.
So my thing about that is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I never really had help doing. It was really on the job training,
Right.
trial and error, either succeeding or fail. And I'm from the hood. Everybody in the hood wants to get out the hood or wants to be rich or wants to be famous. A lot of them don't understand the work ethic or the amount of work that it takes to actually become a thousandaire or a millionaire. And so my thing is, once I hit 30, that was when the wheel started turning to change my mindset when it came to how I looked at certain things. And I realized everything starts with your mindset. So when it comes to, let's say, some of the teenagers in my hood where I'm from, the tattoo shop where I apprenticed at is literally around the corner from my grandmother's house where I grew up my entire life. So me going back there, seeing some of the kids that are getting into stuff in the street, it's nothing for them to, come in the shop real quick and help me fold these shirts. Run these down the street. You got to look for this car, this person. They want 3 T-shirts. Then you got to go on to Hampton. They want 2 T-shirts. However it is, anything to keep them out of the streets. Like, my thing is what kept me out of the streets and made me the man that I am today. And it might sound crazy to some people, but it was Power Rangers. For me, I had to go home every single day and catch that episode. I had to. I could not miss it. And for me, it helped me. Look at what was around me completely different than a lot of my friends who aren't here today. And I knew that wasn't going to be something for me. I knew that I have to be successful. I just do.
Right. I want to mind you, I think about Power Rangers, probably that unity and that teamwork and that banding together. And I think I see some Power Rangers Funko Pops right behind you, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I see like the whole squad.
This section, I got some up here. I'm actually a Power Ranger cosplayer, so I have my helmets, suits, weapons, all of that. Once I became an adult, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm becoming a Power Ranger. I'm gonna do it."
No, but see,
when everything comes back to normal.
My daughter actually tells her friends at school that I'm a Power Ranger. It's great.
And it's really interesting because exactly what you're saying about what you're doing with your mentoring with some of the younger kids is being a Power Ranger. You are being their point of not having to run home to run or to just hang out in the street. And look, 100%. Man, idle hands are the devil's workshop.
100%.
So, and I think that's absolutely incredible. And you're living that aspect, but you're doing it genuinely. Exactly. What I love about you as a human being is I know where I stand with you from the first conversation. And if something changes in either one of our relationships, we can have that conversation. We're going to know that because you're a genuine human being and I'm a genuine human being. So there's no that fake, like, hi, how are you? Just isn't there. And that I think has been one of the biggest things that I've seen with you. And one of the things I really want people to understand is, and one of the reasons why we have this show is to show people the people behind the brand itself. Because you can have an incredible product, but it's the person that people are investing in. And you are a person and you are a personality that brings that want to invest in because you're real. You're human and you're flawed and you're real. And that's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that.
Mickey, I know you recently been to Atlanta, or you were in Atlanta the past recent years. Now, how different is the clothing scene in Atlanta from Connecticut?
Everything in Atlanta is completely different in Connecticut. Not only the clothing, but the way people treat you, the way people interact, the way business. Honestly, I tell people, I look at Atlanta like Black excellence, honestly, because when you go out there, Black people, you see us in the top of the line cars. You see us the business owners, you see us with the houses, you see us with the money. Even when you go into a strip club, you go in there and all you see is everybody in there is black and everybody has just crazy wads of money. And it's insane. You first time I went there, one of my friends is an assistant for a rapper, and so I ended up meeting his manager, and within 5 minutes of a conversation with her, she's like, "Oh, you're trying to do this. You got that going on. You're trying to do this. All right, hold on. Let me see who I could call to help you out doing this. Let me see who I got going on that's doing this to see if they could help you out with something." And I'm just like, "Whoa, I don't even know you, and you're not asking me for anything. You're trying to help me with my dream. What's going on here? It's something I got to worry about." But it's literally like that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's crime and there's fake people and all that everywhere.
Absolutely, that's everywhere.
But it's completely different. Everything is completely different in Atlanta than it is here. I say everything for Black people is definitely forward. You know how to say stuff is fashion forward. Everything is just Black excellence forward for us out there.
It's interesting because like I kind of attribute that to like 1920s Harlem, where you know it was just this incredible cultural and it was everyone working together.
Exactly.
And as we move forward, that's what's needed, period. You know, is that we all need to be collaborators in everyone else's story. And positive collaborators. And that doesn't mean like we don't own up. You know, you need reconciliation, you need conversations, you need uncomfortable conversations to reach an incredible peace.
Exactly.
But you also need to make sure that, you know, we're all working together, you know?
Exactly.
So, awesome.
It's funny that you say that because like, I tell people all the time. I tell people all the time, when it comes to business, your best friend, honestly, is failure. You want to fail at some point because that's how you learn some of your biggest life lessons. Me hitting rock bottom as many times as I have, doing this clothing line, losing out on all of my customers as many times as I've had, and still rescaled, remodeled, and rebuilt. Listen, I tell people all the time, don't let anything stop you. Those hurdles, they're just making you jump higher, faster, and longer. That's it. That's literally it.
That's all. Well, speaking of
best friends,
yeah, exactly. And you want to know what else is? And you're listening to this incredible advice on 103.5 FM WNHH New Haven. Go ahead, finish up the rest because I'm not good at it. Still, I'm learning.
LP.
Thank you.
At least you guys behind the brand with myself, Prestige, and my partner.
I think he froze again.
Easy Bluez on WNHH LP 1. Oh my God!
Yeah, he froze again. It's okay. It's we're getting through it. It's fun.
We absolutely are. Mickey's in the building. Like he said, failure is your best friend. I'm a little failure right now, but I'm pushing forward and I'm moving on with this broadcast. He was telling me about it. And it was like a networking heaven for him. More inspiration to travel, Mickey, after visiting Atlanta. Did you want to go to other places to just like tell people about your product and so on?
100%. So it's funny because so I also other than me having my own brand, I also do merch for other people. I do two of the biggest clients that I have right now is Bars on I-95. That's out of Connecticut, out of New Haven, and I'm on tour with them right now. And then also I do merch for the rapper Rollo out of Atlanta, Free Rollo. And when it comes to so with me working with Rollo, I'm in Atlanta almost every weekend, every other weekend. And when it comes to working with Bars on I-95, with us being on tour, we've been New York, Jersey, Massachusetts, Philly, Atlanta, Virginia. I recently messed up my money a little bit and missed my California trip. Everybody went without me. Yeah, I'm very, very sad about that because I had a couple connections out there. and a couple of networking things that I was supposed to do, but it didn't work out in my favor. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna go, and I'm gonna make up those meetings. But yeah, tattoo wise, it's been pretty slow because of back to school. But
Right.
we got Chicago, Detroit,
So many.
Vegas. There's a lot of places coming up.
So many, man. And bars on I-95. That's been a successful broadcast for you. Now, tell me about how you joined up with those guys.
Okay, so with them, it's actually funny because I went to high school with one of the hosts, and my business partner also works on the staff of Bars on I-95. So it was easy for them to bring me on as a no-brainer once they needed to implement merch. And then plus, with me being a jack of all trades and with me just being the guy that I am, I help out with a lot of things behind the scenes.
I think the beauty of that broadcast, I've seen a couple times, you really have been promoting a lot of artists from Connecticut. It's really been doing great for the independent music scene. I remember seeing Tom Sawyer on there one time. He's from New Haven. And he's been doing incredible stuff on your show. Just as soon as he picks up that microphone, it's just insane. I remember one time you guys had Tony Blanco on the show as well, too, on Bars on 995. But you had a lot of great artists, and you're definitely promoting for the music world. I just want to say thank you for that, guy. Because not too many people get that limelight like that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're definitely trying to put Connecticut on the map. The same way that everybody looks at New York, the same way everybody looks at Detroit, Texas, LA, and Atlanta. We want the industry to look at us like that. Like, and honestly, everybody in the industry knows about Bars on 105. We've kicked it hard down, and we done came in with our chest sticking out. You know?
It's so interesting. No, it's so interesting because I've been in a bunch of different places, been in a whole bunch of different music scenes, but there's something special about New Haven. You know, I consider it like the hidden gem of the music scene, and when it blows up out of here, it's gonna blow huge. Pause. But you know,
people from Connecticut or from New Haven in general that are sprinkled in the industry. I have one of my friends, Jarrell, I went to high school with. He's a songwriter. He lives in Atlanta. He's written songs for Jamie Foxx. He's co-written with Babyface. He's done stuff with I want to say Lenny Kravitz as well. Like I got friends that are doing a lot of stuff. One of my homegirls that I used to be a cheerleader in high school, and one of my friends, she's a correspondent on E. Like, there's a lot of us doing a lot of different things out there.
It definitely is. It definitely is. It really is beautiful. And I'd say within probably under a span of 5 years, we're going to see a lot of stuff coming out from the state of Connecticut. Because so many people have come out of here and have been talking about these places. I mean, you got certain artists like Jadakiss.
Oh yeah, he just recently posted.
Great artists like See, you see how the foundation is just building and how you're becoming a part of that foundation. It's an amazing thing. It really is an amazing thing. Now, where do you see Classic Stoner Life in the next?
I believe he's going to say 5 years.
In the next 5 years, it is going to be within the next 5 years, Classic Stoner Life is going to be looked at as a smaller version of Cookies.
5 years?
And shout out to Cookies because Cookie Burner is completely tapped in. He is the GOAT when it comes to being a stoner. So I'll never be able to eclipse anything that he's done just because he's so tapped in and he's been doing it for so long. But I definitely want to model my brand a little bit after Cookies in a way, just because they've done so much he alone has done so much for the marijuana industry.
And that's what's great too is you don't want to be the next him. You want to be the first you, and I think that's 100%. Incredible.
100%.
Yeah. How's your internet coming, brother?
Sorry about this, guys. Just the Wi-Fi is going back and forth. Like I said,
It's
I got like a little bit of an answer, but I know it's very inspirational. I thank you for telling me about that 5-year plan. Please tell me about cookies just one more time. Just in it because I've been getting just a little bit of the answers. My Wi-Fi has been going back and forth. I really do apologize about the situation.
Okay, so what I was saying was shout out to Burner because Burner, when it comes to the brand cookies and honestly Raw, those two brands they're literally the pinnacle when it comes to smoking and when it comes to being a stoner. They have done so much just to move the culture forward and just to break barriers for stoners to be able to be accepted in the world instead of looking at us like we're junkies and we're unproductive and we can't do anything. There are a lot of successful stoners in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Easy, go ahead. I'm about to log out for a couple.
Yeah, no worries. No, and it's great because the counterculture once again is becoming the culture, and you are sitting on the forefront of it. Like I was stating before, as legalization starts to happen. It's opening more doors and it's taking the stigma of, it's kind of, I almost imagine of what it'd be like to work and deal with alcohol right after prohibition was lifted. There's going to be this incredible boom and you're sitting in front of the boom. Like you're just waiting from a surfer term. And I don't surf, so I'm going to get it wrong. But from a surfer term, you're just sitting in the calm and you're watching this wave just come at you. And you're bracing yourself, just waiting to take it on and ride it all the way to the finish line. And it's got to be like, I'm someone who I watch politics. I watch how things go. I see, when I notice politicians are starting to put money into like pot farms and different things like that and marijuana research, I understand that the laws are about to change because it's 100%. About to benefit them. And that's happening a lot. And I have to give credit actually to the state of Connecticut for when they first tried last year to push for legalization, they were trying to limit and so that was only big business, big corporations that were able to really function. And they were really going to limit the small business and the mom and pop shop industry, which is really and 2020 is showing us this. We live and die by mom and pop shops. I know people love Amazon. And I know people love Walmart and they love Target and they love these things because they get it quick, fast, and it's convenient. But as our mom and pop shops die, so does the middle class. And that's one of the reasons why we are where we are. And 2020, as you said, has really leveled that playing field. So as mom and pop start to really understand how to use the internet and how to use social media for marketing, they're now thriving because there's a vacuum. And as they start to build these relationships with people, when real life comes back into, the normalcy, a lot more people are going to want to talk to that person they've been talking to on social media for the past 6 months because you've built a relationship with them. And again, this is something that you've been sitting on the forefront of. I mean, I've been watching your social media for incredible.
I make myself open to it. So I want people to approach me and engage me and ask me any type of questions, whether it's questions about weed, whether it's questions about how to start a clothing line, how to just start a brand in general. Like I really want people to be comfortable enough to see me anywhere and literally be like, yo, Mick, how do I do this? Yo, Mick, what's going on with this? Oh, yo, Mick, I saw you with such and such last night at the club. Oh, what's it like to know? Like, whatever it is. I'm an open book and I wear my story on my sleeve. Literally.
Oh, it's funny because I actually I released a solo acoustic record a while ago, and I have the song True Friends, and one of the lines in there is, if you want to know my life story, I've inked it all the way down my arms. And that's the reality of it. And from a person who sits and gets tattooed, and I get tattoos often. What I love about working with you and you being the artist is it is that story aspect of it. And that's kind of, I want to talk a little bit about the YouTube show you have in the works. Again, really opening up your brand and opening up your life to the viewer at home for an understanding aspect. So why don't we talk about the YouTube thing for a hot minute?
Okay. So the YouTube channel, between me and my two partners that I have working with me, both female, by the way.
Right.
You honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If you really want to get things done, you have to have females on your team. You have to. You literally have to, because they are way more assertive than a lot of men. So I let the women on my team handle most of the business that I really need to get done. But between the three of us, we've got it down to 420 tattoo therapy. That's the name. Oh, I'm dropping stuff behind me. It's called 420 tattoo therapy, and the reason behind that is everybody, like I said. So originally, when I knew I was going to be in the entertainment industry in some way, shape, or form, I knew that I needed a name, so I went with Mickey Stoner. And I realized after picking that name that there's actually a Spanish recording artist named Mickey Stoner.
Oh no.
So so I kind of had to switch it up a little bit to Mickey 420. So with it being Mickey 420, everybody calls me Mr. 420. And the main reason for that is because of my version of the number 420. That's my baby, my creation. This is my
Right.
child. And I got inspiration from that from Chance the Rapper, listening to him on Joe Budden's podcast, talking about his number 3 hat, when he made all that money with the number 3 hat just by changing the little thing in the back of 3. So when it came to my 420, I extended the bottom of the 4 and then added the pot leaf to alter it in just a small way.
Right.
And so once I did that, oh my goodness, it just went crazy. It literally has been going crazy ever since then. And so now everybody calls me Mr. 420. And so when it comes to me tattooing, you know, everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Everybody needs some type of therapy in some way, shape, or form. I don't care who you are. And low key, tattoo artists are therapists, because as soon as you hit the chair, as soon as that customer hits the chair, the first thing they start doing is either telling you their life story or they tell you the backstory of that tattoo. And whether it's somebody that wants a paperclip because they feel like they're the backbone of their family, they're the one that everybody calls, and this is a real story that somebody told me, that they're the person that everybody in their family calls, no matter that everybody in the family is scattered throughout the United States. This one person is everybody in their family calls them to facilitate anything, to get anything done. So they get a paperclip. To somebody else, a paperclip might be a stupid tattoo, but to them, it means the world. You know, a tattoo could represent the relationship of a loved one that you've had. That once you look at it, anytime you're going through anything bad, you look at it, and now it brightens your spirits. You know, the story of that person and how that person touched you is inspiration to somebody else getting through, or it could be inspiration for somebody else getting through some type of trial, tribulation, or hardship. And with everybody having a story over the years, we all see different stories all the time. Oh, homeless man, he has a beautiful voice, so now he gets a recording contract. This guy has an amazing whatever, so we put him on the radio. You never know what'll happen just by you telling your story. And like I said, everybody wants that 15 minutes of fame. So if I could do my little justice to the world of helping people get their stories out, whatever it is, hey, I'm all ears, because I'm already sitting there working and doing something. So I'm already all ears. Like I said, and if it can help somebody else, then that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's awesome. I'm back on.
Still a little spotty, brother. Your stuff's acting a little weird again.
your
But no,
favorite stories you have done throughout your tattoo.
What are some of my favorite stories that I've
yeah.
gotten?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. I'd say my favorite one is probably the weird one.
Right. Of course.
You got
You mean the
people.
ones you can't tell on terrestrial radio?
Yes. So those I can't really tell the actual stories for those, but I'll give you some of my favorite tattoos that I've done. I'll give you some of my favorite
Okay.
tattoos.
There you go.
I'll do.
There you go.
I want to say I did a tattoo on my little brother. It was a rose with his three kids' names, and above the rose there was three doves, and the three doves represented the three kids that him and his wife miscarried or lost between their road of being
Right.
married. But for me, it's one of my favorite tattoos that I've done just because it's my little brother.
Right.
And for us, our relationship was not the best growing up. I was really on my own, doing my own thing, hanging out with my friends. Me and my little brother we didn't really have that good of a relationship growing up. But once we became parents, then everything changed because
Mhm.
we didn't want the same thing to happen to our kids with each other. So
Right.
our kids are super close. So now we have that oh, I'm coming over, y'all, I'll see you in a couple hours, I'm coming over. All right, bro, I'll be back tomorrow. I see him a lot more now than
Right.
because I lived with my grandmother growing up. I
Mhm.
didn't live with
Okay.
the rest of my I lived with my grandmother.
Right.
Um like I said, I lived in the hood, so it was rough
Right.
for my mom. She was a single mom,
Right.
when it comes to in between marriages with my dad, well, yeah, with my dad and my little brother and sister's dad and stuff, my older brother's dad, it's a lot. It was a lot.
Right.
But yeah, so I lived with my grandmother, which for me it worked out for me because it's funny. I'm my grandmother's favorite, and it's funny because my daughter is my mom's favorite, and neither one of us. It's not a secret at all. Everybody in the family knows it, and whenever his family get-togethers, we hear it all the time. But but yeah, so I lived with my grandmother. For me, it was great because I was spoiled. I was spoiled
Right.
growing up. And
Right.
then my daughter,
Just
she's
hold that
great.
thought, Mickey, as we hear you on NHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and Easy Blues with Behind the Brand. We got Mickey Stoner in there, Mr. 420. Heard about a lot of his clothing material and how he's grandma's favorite. Funny how you
Grandma's boy.
say that because a lot of families say that they have no favorites.
Oh no,
This
yo,
honesty
listen.
that you just gave me.
I am my grandmother's favorite, and my daughter is my mom's favorite.
Look,
That thing, that's what been passed down.
I will be honest with you. Every person that tells you that a family doesn't have their favorite, that just means you're not the favorite of the family.
Pretty
That's
much.
really what it comes down to. Let's be real.
That is so true. That is
That
so
being said,
true.
I love all three of my sons equally.
I only have one. So I'm able to have her. So she's my favorite. She's my one and only, but she's my favorite.
There you go.
And it's funny because she actually has a job too. My daughter.
Oh,
Of course she
awesome.
does. Of course she does.
Awesome.
Yeah, my daughter works.
It's in the
My
blood,
daughter,
man.
she's a model. She's a model and she's an actress.
Of course.
Entrepreneurial spirit that you have, like that whole brand is just building. Your daughter's building your own brand.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And that's key, man. It's that real life stuff. It's again showing
Exactly.
how you are
That's great to
stepping
hear.
up and being that Power Ranger.
Not-
You know?
Exactly. Growing up in the hood, there's a lot of things that you're not taught. There's a lot of things that you're not taught that you learn once you become an adult. Not even that you learn throughout the years. You literally don't learn it until you become an adult. And you see other adults thriving off of certain things that they learn. And I feel like it as a parent, it's my job to make sure that my daughter has a better life than I do. Not just say it, but to actually do it. Like
They,
I, you know, I tattoo out of my house, and
hmm
I either out of my house I'm a traveling artist, so I go to other people's houses. And when people
hmm
come to my house, when my daughter is here, she will run in the room with the product that she's on, and she's like, "Look, look, look! This is me! This is me! This is my doll! I'm on the box! I'm a model!" And she loves it. She absolutely
Right.
loves it. And for me, I love it because it's actually something that she's proud of. It's something that she can show. It's something that she actually has credit for, and
hmm
it's something that she's gonna be able to do until she doesn't want to. I'm never gonna force her to get a job. I never
Right.
wanted a job, so I'm never
Right.
gonna force her to get a job. I'm gonna show her how to make her own money. I'm gonna
Mhm.
show her how to make money for other people, so that way she's an asset to any company more so than a liability.
Mhm.
Right.
I would love
And
to pass my company down, but
right.
if she doesn't want it, then I got nieces and nephews that might.
Yeah. Well, no, see, I think that's really, really interesting because a lot of people who are entrepreneurs do say, I never wanted to get a job. But the real key is understanding that the job is living your dream.
Yes,
You don't want to live, you don't want to get a job as per, you don't want to work for someone else's dream. You understand that
exactly.
there's value in you and you want to live your dream because that's what we are crafted to be. I mean, in all reality, we give children the idea of hope and that American dream. You can accomplish that American dream, and it means so many different things. And right now, I mean, as chaotic and as just disturbing as this country has become, the American dream hasn't evolved nor has it died. It's just
True.
we were sold it differently. The American
Very,
dream
very
is
true.
not working for a corporation and living and dying by someone else's dream. It's going out there and understanding that you are worth the investment and investing in yourself so that you are better and you can show that the generations coming up can be better. That is the American
Exactly.
dream that we
Exactly.
need to start really instilling in our children and in ourselves. And now I'll get
Exactly.
off my soapbox.
No, you're absolutely right. Because when you look at the grand scheme of things, it does not matter what job you have. As long as you're making money and as long as for the government you're paying taxes, they don't care what job you have.
Right.
They just want you to pay them their money. And as long as you make enough money to pay them, make pay your bills, do whatever you want and need, that's really what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you want more, then the pursuit for more, you just got to understand what it takes to get that more, whatever that more is. But on the basic level, you, I tell people all the time, man, you working, do it because you need to do it.
Mhm.
Don't do it or do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you need to do it.
There
Because
you go.
when you need to do it, you're gonna move differently compared to when you want to do it. Right now, I wake up when I want to wake up. I work when I want to work. I do what I want to do. It took me a long
Right.
time to get here, but at the end of the day, I made up in my mind that this is what I wanted to do with my life, and I made sure that I
It's a
did
great feeling.
whatever it took to get
Right.
there. That's dealing with whatever consequences, both good and bad, at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And that's key is to understand that no matter what, there's still going to be a downside.
Oh, 100%.
And again, if 2020 hasn't shown us anything, it has shown us how little corporate America actually cares for the worker because they would much rather, open up and get a whole bunch of people sick again so that they can, make their bottom line. And so they're not hurting. And hey, whatever. I am trashing corporate America and big business while I'm having this interview on my iPhone. I'm a hypocrite. I'm human. I'm
Yeah,
allowed to be. You know what I mean? So whatever. I understand that I need corporations to survive in this society. That doesn't mean I have to serve the corporation to
100%.
survive in this society.
100%.
You know.
Because with everything shutting down the way it did, it it took away anybody's excuse to not have done whatever it is that they wanted to learn or do. YouTube, I don't understand how YouTube has not opened up an actual physical
Now we have a freeze there. I think he's saying a physical school from YouTube.
brick and mortar school. I got a phone at YouTube University, 100%.
Right.
And I've learned more on YouTube than I've learned in any school that I've ever gone to. And I'm not taking anything from school. I'm not taking anything away from it.
Right.
But instead of you teaching me a bunch of stuff that I don't care about and I'm not going to use, what I learn on YouTube is exactly what I need to succeed. Just that simple. And all the answers and keys are out there. You just got to go get them.
And it's so interesting. Sorry, it's so interesting because exactly what you said is what the movie Good Will Hunting. There's the scene in the bar where the Harvard student is giving the townie a hard time, and Will looks at him and goes, you're spending all this money on a fancy education where in $1.50 of library late fees, I've got a better education than you. And that's what YouTube has become, the new library.
Exactly.
Now, Mickey, do you feel few people have that drive now that you've been saying? Because everything, the tools you need is easy accessible now. Like you've been talking about social media and YouTube and trying to find ways, to advance your business and advance your brand, and how you didn't have that learning, but you had to get that learning yourself. But like everything is open on a flat table. But what I've seen throughout this year, we separated, like I said, throughout weekly on this broadcast, it separates the leaders from the followers. You really see people stepping up this year and going at it because everything you have is really on the table when it comes to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say no. Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't want to say no only because there are so many people that actually have, when I look at social media, I see a lot of people that are making t-shirts now that are customizing, let's say, tumblers for like coffee tumblers or just anything. So I definitely see that some people have taken the time to actually, show that they're passionate about something. But I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have seen a lot of laziness. And I'm not one of the fortunate people that ended up getting that stimulus check, but I see that stimulus check definitely could have done a lot of things for a lot of people. It could have.
Yeah.
I mean, me working at the time, I had a part-time gig because for a little bit I was dealing with child support and stuff. But getting that off my back, it's funny because I see so many people. Once the stimulus checks came out, all you see is people buying TVs and Xboxes and PlayStations and tablets and computers and this and that and toys and bikes and I'm just like, whoa! I can understand computers. I can understand certain equipment.
Right.
What are you buying all these TVs for? What are you buying? There's so many things that people, you complain about stuff, but then you get certain things handed to you and you don't really use the tools that you need. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a perfect person in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I'm just hungry at this point. I'm hungry and I'm tired of I've lived broke more than I've lived having money. I tell people now, like my rich friends, my millionaire friends, my rapper friends, my entrepreneurial friends that I have now that I've made this year, friendships that I formed this year. I tell them all the time. I mean, I got no problem going out to these different restaurants and all these different clubs, but I'm just getting used to having money. So me spending it like this doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me because I have so many other business expenses. I have every single day I see different equipment that I just get excited about and want to buy. I got this $2,500 sublimation printer that I'm getting in a week or two. And I need to get it. There's a lot of things that I could do with that money, but I need that printer. And that printer is gonna help me It's gonna help me with my t-shirts, with better quality t-shirts, better quality socks, and a lot of other different products that I do for other people. So for me, instead of spending $2,500 on some jewelry, I could wait on the jewelry.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I have some just because, like I said, now I have rapper friends, so I kind of have to blend in and stuff. And with me having the clothing line, you know, I really wanted for a rapper to be the face of my clothing line. I don't want to be famous anymore. I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. I don't want to be famous anymore. I don't really care about it. So, but being that being that I'm not endorsing any rappers right now, and being that I don't have a rapper to be the face, my partner and the Bars on I-95 production staff, they're telling me, yo, Mick, you got to be the one to be the face. You got to be famous. You got to, you know, you can't be walking around scruffy. You have to be a personality. You got to be fresh. And listen, I'm like Jeff Bezos. The sneakers that I have, I've had probably 5 years, and I'm not lying to you. I've had my four pair of Nike Air Tempos 5 years. I just bought a new pair of sneakers last weekend because my little brother is like, yo, how you gonna be around all these cars, taking pictures with all these cars, taking pictures with all these people? You got on all this jewelry, and then you look down at your feet. I'm like, yo, that stuff doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter to me. Right. He's like, yeah, but you kind of do have to. There's some expenses that you do have to make. So I understand. I do understand, but I just don't care when it comes to certain things like that.
Right. But Mickey, time is running thin within the show. We got about a minute left, unfortunately. I'd love to have you back on because I've been a little bit frozen in time and going back into different dimensions throughout this episode. I just want to say more about the story. I definitely got to book you more, man. Absolutely, man. Just before we go out, please tell everybody where to find your.
So you can find my merch.
I want to give the mic is yours and definitely promo.
You can find my merch when you everybody go follow me on Instagram at Mr. MR _ MICKY 420 or at Book Mickey 420 or at Classic Stoner Life, all one word, in the link, my Teespring shop with all of my merch, well, most of my merch, because I do a lot of custom stuff too. But with most of my merch is all in the links in my bio. So you can go to the links and you can look at everything that I offer: pillows, blankets, t-shirts, hoodies, leggings, socks, everything.
Definitely. Mickey, thank you for being a part of Behind the Brand. Appreciate you. Gonna have you back on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Prestige, Easy Blues, WNHHLP 103.5 FM, New Haven.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, we want focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the Brujas let this last.